Okay, here we go. Got this rear end put in there, but I'm going to explain to you what I had to do because I'm a cheapskate, like I say. This is the factory 7.5 G body rear end. And what happens is the pumpkin itself right here is larger or smaller than 8.5. So then it puts the location of your upper trailing arms in a different position. So what you have to do is either they sell them on the interweb for like $300, but no, I ain't spending that much money on that. I got access to a welder, and I'll show you here in a minute, but I bought a set of solid tubular A-arms for a metric G body. I did not use the upper ones because they was too long, but I did use the lower ones. So it puts the rear end in the center of the axle, or the axle in the center of the wheelhouse. Okay, so I'm going to get under here and show you what I got going on. Let me turn some light on here. So I had this 8.5 laying around the house here. Just got a mini spool in it with 456s, I believe. And I managed to find these QA1 coilovers on the interweb for $200. They're not for this application, so I made them work. They're for like a Firebird or some shit, I don't know. But I bought that set of upper and lower tubular control arms for $179. Then I bought this relocation kit. As you can see, it bolts right on the rear end, right there. So you do away with the original shock mount, and it puts it to the rear and puts it inboard, so there's no tire issue clearances. And then the other thing I had to do, because like I said, I don't know, I'm new at this video stuff, where, if you can see this, where this bolts, this is the upper lug on the housing, and I put it in a factory location. They do also sell pockets that will go in here, and you can weld them in and use the normal upper trailing arm, but I wanted adjustable ones anyhow, with the Heim joint in there. But that upper adjustable control arms was $150, so let's say I got 380 in it. $700, and I already had the rear end. But I also made new brackets here too, as you can see. See how it's offset further? So what happens is this is like off an inch. It's got to be an inch out, because the factory location on the 7.5 over there is turned in, like, it's turned in more to where it's like a 45 degree, let's say. Well, this is like a 60-degree angle to meet the pocket up there. You can see it's all in there, all bolted up. Got about 2 degrees down angle for the pinion angle. Like I said, got these off the interweb. Probably got too heavy of a spring in it. They're 250 pounds, but I can buy a new set of springs for $200, so I'll have less than $800 in putting a 8.5 inch rear end in here. And also, I welded everything. Because I got access to the welder, but you could have drilled and bolted. I made different brackets because the brackets were not long enough. You can see in there's holes, so it makes that adjustable. But these shocks were actually too long, eye to eye, but I made them work. And you can see that it's no lower than the factory shock mount, so I'm not going to have any ground clearance issues. But yeah, that's it. I had to shorten these, like I said, to make them work, but they're still adjustable. I can still adjust the pinion angle. And like I said, I used the tubular arms that I bought with that kit. Like I said, it was very inexpensive, but it's all in here. 456 mini spool. I believe it's out of a 70 Chevelle A body, and also it's a ½ inch wider on each side, so there's no issues with the tire rubbing in here anymore. And I have 5-inch back spacing wheels. I should have took the video before I took the tires off of it, but I got to redo the brakes, so there you go. That's my 8.5 GM 10 bolt out of an A body into a 79 G body. And like I say, they do make the offset upper arms and they are adjustable, but I wasn't spending the money because, yeah. Okay, that's it.